Welcome everybody, Flash Time here. Today's video will be on The Flash Season 6 and on the new leaked photos that have just been released for The Flash Season 6. So there's a lot to go over in this video, as there was a lot of promotional photos released for Episode 1 of The Flash. And there's a lot of big moments in these photos that we need to cover and have a little talk about and see what I and you guys do think on these images and what is going on. So in one of the images, as we learned already, the Monitor will be making a appearance at the end of The Flash episode 1 of season 6. This scene has been already known to be a scene, spoiler alert, if you have not seen this, so if you want to click off, I do before, but it's a scene that the Monitor comes to tell Barry that he needs to sacrifice himself, said by Grantgustin and the showrunner Eric Wallace. They did say that Barry would have to sacrifice himself in Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I do think that was part of his deal. When people are saying that Oliver's deal was to save Barry in this crisis, it may have something. It does make sense because I thought that at first. But if Barry's going to sacrifice himself, I think he's going to make a time remnant to do that. Because if you really listen to what the Monitor says in Elseworlds, he says, if you want me to change their fates in Elseworlds, so he saved them from Elseworlds, from dying in Elseworlds, so that might have been the bargain he made, which Oliver is going to make another bargain in Crisis, or Barry will do something else to protect himself and survive this crisis. There's the rest of the photos showing more of a look at Barry's new Season 6 suit, which I, in my opinion, think is amazing. I think it is the second best suit. Maybe the Season 3 might push that, or the Season 2. But this suit is amazing, so it's either second or third, or joint second, with the Season 4 suit at number 1. Some people might not agree with me on that one. Some people really enjoy the Season 6 suit and think it's very comic book accurate, which is fair enough. It's a good suit. As for more these promotional photos, we see Barry standing off with Cecile behind him, so by the look of it, I think this is where the Monitor comes in, because in the next photo he looks very shocked. I think he might be protecting Cecile from the Monitor or whatever he thought was coming through. The photo where Cisco's on the computer, I think that's him monitoring this portal that's going to be coming through, which is eventually going to be the Monitor. It's the Monitor, yeah, the Monitor. The one where the lights are going red, I think we see that in the trailer where we see Barry and Iris stood there. I think that's with the start. It's either going to be the villain of the week, where we see the crash, the car crash, and the other leaked photos in my previous video, if you're going to go check that out. I cover all news, so if you are new here, please subscribe, leave a like and share around. That would mean a lot. Yeah, so I do cover every leaked photo, every leaked bit of footage, every news, every rumour, every theory. I cover it all on this channel about The Flash, because that is what I'm here for. This is why I made this channel, so then I could do stuff like that. So, yeah. So, in the other photos, it does look like Barry is standing off with the rest of Team Flash, with exception of Joe and Ralph Dibny. But yeah, that could just be a scene where they're somewhere else in that particular room. And I think it's the Speed Lab that they're stood in that. And yeah, I think they are either waiting for the Monitor. But when I keep on saying the Monitor's going to come through that portal, it does look like that. But then he's also stood in the Time Vault in this photo where he's going to be talking to Barry, which is going to be the ending scene. So I don't know whether they're going to see him come through here first and then they go into the Time Vault, or because Barry looks very shocked, and it does look like it'd be a scene where he sees the Monitor for the first time, which is very possible, because he looked shocked, and he didn't really expect to see the Monitor at this particular moment of time, because Barry has already met the Monitor in Elseworlds when he went with Oliver to go talk to him. So Barry full well knows who he is, and and they met him whilst they were on the road. So everybody knows who the Monitor is pretty much, apart from maybe Ralph Dibney, because he just wasn't in the crossover again, which hopefully he's in Crisis. I think he will be in Crisis because they can't exclude him again in another crossover. There's Kid Flash, that he's going to be in it. Kid Flash won't be in episode 1 though of The Flash season 6, which people keep on asking me to report on this and tell them news about Kid Flash. There's only been a certain amount of news that has been released about Kid Flash, and really he is not needed on Team Flash when Barry is such an not an overpowered speedster, but rightfully so, the most powerful speedster on the show, which I'd like to see him do more feats. I'd like him to see him do more light speed feats where he runs at light speed, instead of them debunking his powers and like nerfing them so then he can't do what he's meant to be able to do, which is really annoying when you really want to see Barry do something amazing in the show on that episode, but they like to do it so then they can keep the villain of the week and extend the show. So people who mention about, oh, Barry, he can run light speed 1 second, run, I don't know, Mach 72 at 1 second when he's just doing his casual running. Yeah, he runs at Mach 900,000 pretty much in some episodes. This is because it's the plot hole, so any speedster is pretty much as fast as the plot needs to be. So there's not really a top calculated speed on DC speedsters. So as for that, where I keep on seeing that commented down about when people say about previous speedsters returning and going, oh, they won't be a challenge for Barry. If the writers want to make them a challenge for Barry, they will probably speed up the villains, or so then they can catch up to Barry, and especially in Elseworlds, some Crisis. I mean, something like this, something so big like this. In my previous video I was talking about the Accelerated Man as well, so if you want to go check that out. It didn't do too well on views, but I think that was because of the timing that I uploaded it at. So if you guys could really go give that a look, like it, share it, and yeah, that'd mean a lot to me. That'd be amazing, because I was really excited to make that video to report on the Black Flash and Accelerated Man, and it didn't really do as well as I thought it would. So yeah. So now moving on to, will Barryallen sacrifice himself in Crisis on Infinite Earths? I've seen a lot of comments on my videos, and I do agree with some, I disagree with some. Some of them are, you don't really know whether to agree or disagree on them. But as for Barry sacrificing himself, I do think he will say that he will sacrifice himself at the end of this episode. Because, you know, Barry said that he'd do anything because he's the Flash. He'd do anything to save the world. But also Nora's life is on the line because, you know, I know she's dead currently, but, you know, she could come back if Iris gets pregnant. So if he thinks about that and brings that into the equation, that's going to create a huge different, outtake on should he sacrifice himself. But Barry, being the hero he is, he probably will eventually sacrifice himself. And yeah, that I do think that he's gonna say that he's gonna sacrifice himself, and I think he will die in the Flash episode. I think that's the second episode of the Crisis crossover, with the first being Supergirl, I think, if I remember rightly, or it's Batwoman, but I think the Flash is second out of all of them, and then he'll return on like the Arrow episode or something like that, unless they're gonna do it all on the Arrow one. Barry dies on the Arrow one, which is the second to last one, with Legends being last. So Barry dies on the Arrow one with a big battle, and then the Legends crossover is a carry-on on that huge battle where Barry's gone, and then we finally get the final battle scene where Barry returns, Oliver sacrificing himself, and Arrow's out of the crossover, the Arrowverse basically. I've seen a new thing on future Oliver Queen. I don't know whether that's any good, if it's true or not, but it does look good. But yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's true. So comment down below your opinions on Crisis on Infinite Earths, on the Flash Season 6, on these promotional photos. If this is your favourite suit, for one. If you're hyped for Season 6. If you are new, subscribe for more. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. It's going to be a really, really hard thing to get to by the end of the year. But hopefully if I get the right amount of support, we can do it. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more. See you guys in a bit. See you guys in the next one. Comment down below more theories or characters you want to return. And yeah, this has been Flash Time. And thank you for watching. See you guys in a bit.